Cool, cool, cool.
Feedback.
Right. Mirror. Hello, hello, hello. Let me adjust that just a little bit, that frame. There we go. All right. Let's see how it's going. Ah. All right. Hey, guys. Hey, hey, hey. Kathy, Damone, Sean, Keith, Simon. Nice, nice. Christine. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. How you guys all doing? Right on. All right, so we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do today, but thank God we were able to kind of figure it out. It's a little bit of the last moment thing. I honestly kind of wouldn't have mind trying this on Monday night. I think it would be kind of cool. I've been wanting to experiment with doing an evening during the weekday so that we can make it, so that every Sunday doesn't have to be, we don't have to always schedule the mornings for this. But it's also, become a cool thing that we spend every Sunday together. So you have that you have to balance with the idea that we also have to make Sunday appointments and do stuff too. Last night the internet was out. It wasn't raining yet. We went to dinner and I was like, is your internet out? And because Amir lives 1 block from me. Weirdly enough, sometimes his is not out and mine is. So there might be some imaginary line between my street and his street, like that half of the neighborhood versus this half, because it is literally directly the halfway mark.
There is some sort of difference in the grid because sometimes my power's out and yours isn't, vice versa, whatever.
So weird.
There is a different grid, I think.
And you have your house is a little newer than mine because your windows are different. Like they open a little differently. So Amir
has 1 year newer.
Yeah. So it's weird because they kind of improved some stuff in his house versus my house because my windows open. You reach through a little.
I actually like your windows better though.
They're a fucking pain.
See, the grass is always greener.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You have to reach through this like door and screen, and that's how you open the window.
Super
and close
old
it.
School 50s style.
Yeah. It's weird, but it's hard because the windows don't close as well. The windows don't. There's a bunch of issues with it. Sometimes when they're opening out, they open into things, and it's plants grow up in front of them, and you can't get them open. It's a thing, but our houses are pretty old. So, what's been going on this week? We have gotten to a point where we have a good grab bag of Edema and Julien-K songs kind of ready to go. With Edema, we have, I'd say 3 songs that are actually really ready to go, and another probably 4 songs in the folder that are very well developed. That's super exciting. Obviously we have other ideas. We have, with Julien-K, we probably have 27, songs that could be worked on. But we finally have a bag of songs that are ready to be mixed, so that's a big deal. If anyone doesn't remember why we reached this point of we have this label concept called Framework, and we recommend that our artists regularly release music. And with the new way music works, it actually really plays to your advantage to just release music with some regularity. It could be every 6 to 8 weeks, right? Because the algorithm picks you up and it actually starts to feature your music more, and that gets it on more playlists and people start to hear it. And just ask Jason, and it starts to work. You put out good stuff consistently and you have an awesome thing going. And we have not been able to take advantage of our own advice because we recorded a full album called Harmonic Disruptor, and we had a massive year of touring booked, and COVID hit. And around that time, I decided to go ahead and take a time out and improve myself and go to rehab. So it sort of put us into this strange kind of behind the 8 ball situation, which we haven't really been in. And given the fact that we don't write songs in like an afternoon, we're not like a lot of, the newer, younger artists right now that do things the new way. We're kind of a combo of that. And so we've had to really struggle with being able to tour promote Harmonic Disruptor because we don't want to waste that album, and then also get new music done and get to a point where we can start releasing a lot of music every year again and never really stop. And I think we're starting to finally get that ready to go. So that's pretty exciting. Um,
Three of these songs, so there's 4 songs that we have pretty much ready to go. 3 of the songs were actually from the session we did with Foo. When Foo came down here, we just kind of did some intensive work, trying to...
Always goes well when we get the whole band
Yeah,
in one room.
I always say that too. It's like I really prefer when the 3 of us are together, and it's just, I don't know, some magic happens, always. So Foo, we need you, as usual. No fun without Foo. But anyway, so we actually created quite a few songs, maybe, I don't know, half dozen songs, maybe a few more. And so we kind of just focused in on a few of the ones that we were like really feeling, or that were really kind of coming together quickly. So 3 of them are brand new songs that we did, the 3 of us. One of the songs was actually something we'd been working on for a while. And so that's like actually probably Harmonic Disruptor.
Oh, it's a Harmonic Disruptor one that didn't make the...
Yeah. It was actually a weird song that was 2 songs in one.
Yeah.
And I actually think there's 2 songs. So we finished one of them, and the other one may end up turning into another song. So that's cool because it's something different than, just from that batch of songs that we just did. And I expect that we'll probably do that again. Hopefully we can get Food down here again and plow through a few more ideas. I know we actually have some other some other ideas that we started on as well. And then there really is quite a bit of stuff for Trauma Echoes, so that's going to be an interesting thing to dive into when we get to it, because there really is quite a few ideas there that just really need to be focused on. But I think we're more excited about the whole dark mode thing for now.
Yeah.
So we're really focusing on that, and I think these 3 new songs, well, actually all of them, have something really interesting to offer. Little bits of flavors of things maybe Julien-K's done before, but for the most part they feel kind of new and fresh.
Sounding,
And kind of fresh for us, which is what we were hoping to get. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Rudy just said, still not a fan of constant singles versus full releases, but I'll take it how I can get it. Now we appreciate that. Let me speak to that for a minute. Obviously, artists don't really have a lot of a choice nowadays in how that works. You either kind of play the game the way the game exists, or you drop a full album out of nowhere, and essentially the majority of the album is kind of wasted because no one gets to really hear it, because the songs don't get featured, given the way that Spotify and Apple and Amazon and Tidal and Deezer, the way they work. So a small group of super fans definitely get into all the songs and everything, but unfortunately, when we get out on tour and start to play and everything, you need all the songs to actually have some listens so we can vary the set and make this thing make business sense. But I hear you, and we agree. There will be an album, and there will be songs on it that you guys haven't heard. All we're going to be doing is taking a good chunk of that album and spacing it out over the year so that there's regular music coming all the time. So I wouldn't think about it like, oh, you're just going to get a bunch of singles that are just unrelated to anything. I would think about it like you're getting the full season of the best TV show, but we're going to be releasing, episodes throughout the year, and putting promo behind it and video elements and new photography and touring behind it. And then somewhere in there, we're going to release a whole package that will be different kinds of packages. We'll do interesting, fun stuff with it. And it'll make a lot more sense for us because, a good chunk of those songs are going to be something that everyone has really heard and loves and has a lot of, spins on Spotify and all that kind of stuff, so that it just it's going to make the band stronger. It'll help make us make this make sense. So we appreciate you guys' support. And I agree with you, Rudy. We like to do the whole album stuff. Don't be surprised too if we change the rules unannounced and just drop something, because that is also, you guys already know that we do that kind of shit. But we definitely learned our lesson, I think, with Time Capsule. You know, we dropped
think,
a massive package and didn't get to promote a bunch of those songs, and that
Yeah.
sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, no, because there were actually a lot of
Yep.
really great songs there, and we could have really promoted that in a much bigger way. I mean, the Indiegogo thing obviously was stellar for us, and that was, I think, it was the biggest campaign we ever did. But yeah, we didn't really get to kind of promote any of those songs or anything. But we do have another surprise that will be dropping in the next couple of months. Some of you may know what it is. I'm not going to tell you, but it will literally be something we will drop on you.
Yep, that's going to be out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to need you guys to jump in and participate, because it was so hard and expensive to get done. It was so hard and so expensive to get done.
You guys are going to be stoked.
Is it ever going to end? Oh my God, yeah. So we're going to do some sort of interesting campaign or pre-sale or promo around that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We'll definitely need you guys to engage though, and buy this fucking thing, because we have to recoup quickly the costs. It was next level. That's definitely, you know, talking about framework and what we're doing with the label. And the reason that it's on my mind right now is we had dinner with Wes last night from Human, one of our favorite bands on the label. We have Keith on here, who's doing a great job with Intemperate Sons, and we've also you know, consult with other people. Some of you here kind of on the DL and some not on the DL, and we're really trying to think of, you know, what we're doing works. You know, the bands that we advise and consult for and produce and release have been getting plays, and it's working, you know, and when you get plays, what that means is you start getting paid more to play, you start selling merch, a business is created, right? So this thing works, and that's cool. And I think that what we're trying to figure out now is there some way we could create a system that works for more people more easily, you know, where we could consult and produce and manage things the way that we manage it, you know, per project as we see fit. But there's maybe something where other artists could get involved and they could get some of the promotional activity and stuff that we do in Framework, and get something to start happening, you know, kind of on their own, but a little bit more automated. And maybe that this is something that hasn't happened before. You know, maybe it's not that traditional label type of situation where a small group of people have to like this stuff and then they try to make something happen, or they don't, and they take 100% of your music and just own it for the rest of fucking creation, you know, unless you sue them or do something, which is the way it works. Maybe there's a middle ground, and I'm really thinking about that, and especially once we get rolling with the Julien-K singles and everyone starts to see what happens with our Spotify numbers and with our touring. I think that it makes it more exciting for me to want to help other artists that maybe don't have those opportunities to get something to happen.
We also have some new artists coming as well.
We do.
Some cool stuff.
We do have some mysterious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell you the name because it's just too cool right now. We got to keep it under wraps for a minute. But yeah, we have more artists, and we get more people hitting us up all the time. But you know, right now it's me and Amir, and you know, we can only spend so much time doing stuff, and that just kind of limits our ability to crank out new releases and all that kind of stuff. And there's some people that we'd even like to work with that it's prohibitive because of our time. But yeah, so these are all fun, interesting concepts we're toying with that we can hope that Adema and Julien-K, being the bigger artists on the label, could maybe help pioneer for other artists, you know. What else?
Oh, I was going to say that I'll probably be, you know, working on trying to mix those songs while you're gone with Adema and whatever. And
well, let's get one done before I leave.
Yeah.
Put in the can. Yeah, we've got some interesting plans with one of the songs. I think we wrote a song that's kind of a flag in the ground.
Yeah.
Like we've done something new. And our inner circle that we've played the stuff for is kind of shitting their pants. So, I mean, hopefully that means it's better than we think it is. But it's been hard. It's been hard. You know, it's been hard.
Like I said previously, you know, we don't like to repeat ourselves, so there's always some new flavor. And you know, it's a little tricky finding what that is that works with us, you know.
So hard. Christine said, Menavon really appreciates your advice and influence, really motivates him. He looks up to you. And and by the way, thank you. That's flattering. What she's talking about is, as you guys know on Patreon, and this really folds into framework, but I want you guys to know this. We offer, for our higher up supporters, we essentially, what started out as like a one-on-one Zoom call for an hour or whatever that we offer one per year. What it's really fleshed out now to be is, if you guys are supporting us for a year, you guys can accrue this ability to connect with us on Zoom. And what we've found out is a lot of people are doing interesting things. A lot of you guys are artists and musicians. And we do jump on Zoom and we'll hang out and we'll talk about how we do what we do and how it can apply to you guys. So if this is something that interests you, not everyone takes it, and I understand that. It might not be comfortable to jump on a fucking Zoom with me. Or a mirror, I understand. But if you have something going on, I asked Jason Corey, we will actually get involved, especially for the people that are really supporting our band. And we lay it out in the perks, which are all somewhat loose. We just kind of invented this thing. Really what it is about is a way for our, the people that support this band to really help this thing happen. And we get to engage with you guys every week and as often as we like, which is often. It's pretty cool, but those kinds of things, you guys can use them like that. If you're an artist, maybe you're not a musician, we are professional artists. This is what we do. This is all we do. We make a living doing art. And it's unique, weird, hard, rewarding, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So we do have a lot of experience, and we're happy to share it with you guys. And Christine kind of used it to talk to Menavon. And by the way, that was a pleasure, and we love doing it. Frankly, we love doing it. So we have to figure out some way to limit it because, as you guys might guess, I can go for 2.5 hours on a Zoom with you guys. So yeah. Simon said framework light in a box.
Yeah.
You kind of have an idea of what we're thinking. We do have some relationships with some technical people that might be able to help us to automate some of what it is that we do. And so that might be an interesting concept. And maybe there is another way for artists that don't rise up to that major label level that they still matter. And people still need to hear their music and they still deserve that shot. And maybe we can help offer it. Let's get into Mr. Martin Gore. I'm always a little, I know we've done, some Depeche Mode stuff, and everyone knows that we love Depeche Mode, and you guys have probably heard a lot of the stories. Have you met Martin Gore?
Yes, and probably, you might be referring to the story of how I used to hang out with David Gahan.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that you'd met Martin or not. Tell me about that.
Which one?
Well, what's the most interesting time you've met Martin Gore?
I think it was through Bobby Carlton, I feel like.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little more recent. That's Orgy Time.
Yeah.
I remember that. And you said that he liked the band and was like...
he was really nice.
He's so nice.
What it was is that we went and saw Dave Gahan do his solo
Oh,
thing.
God damn it.
Yes. And so after the show, they had like a little after party thing at this bar. Yeah. And it was super exclusive. There was not a lot of people there. And so Martin was there, and of course Dave was there, and the reason was because my friend Bobby's friend played with Dave Gahan, and they were all sober.
Yeah.
And
do you remember Bobby Carlton told me, he's like, he's the best ass in rock. Dave Gahan,
yeah.
Best ass in rock and roll.
So there was a whole kind of like sober group of people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a party where everybody was boozing it up. It was like everybody was sober pretty much. And so it was a very small group of people, and so we all got to hang out and stuff. And I met Martin. He's pretty little. He's very nice. Just had a little quick chat with him and stuff. And I told him, we were in Orgy or whatever, and he was like, "Oh yes, I know, Orgy, yeah, I've heard of them." You know how he talks, right? Yeah. So that was really flattering. But yeah, the Dave Gahan story goes back farther. I'll make that one quicker. So there was a girl that I knew way back in the day, and she ended up working for Depeche Mode, and we were roommates. Like when I first came to LA, I used to live in her apartment with my drummer. And so, I knew her very well, and she ended up dating Dave Gahan. I don't know if they got married or what ended up happening, but so when she started dating him, this was when he was living in the Hollywood Hills before he went down the drug tunnel. It was right before, I forget what record that would have been, but
It would be just before Songs of Faith and Devotion.
yeah, I think that's exactly when it was. So
right in between there, he kind of fell off the fucking.
So I used to go there all the time, and they would cook dinner, and like we would talk, and it was ridiculous. He was so nice to me. He told me so much about the music business. I learned so much at just, the few dinners or hangs that we had. He told me all about Mute Records, how he said, you should start your own label. Like he was telling me all kinds of stuff. And he was just rad, And I ran into him a few more times after that, and he always was cordial to me and remembered me. He'd always come right up to me, Amir, how are you doing? and I was just like, wow.
Oh my God,
Can't even believe you even remember who I am, And then everything went south after that, unfortunately, and it was bad. It was very bad, and I've actually not talked to him since then, unfortunately. I've not seen him or talked to him, but I will never forget those times together and the advice that he gave me and how kind he was, and obviously I wasn't doing that kind of music either at that time, but I loved Depeche Mode and all the new wave music, but I was like, in a hair band or whatever. And I actually think that, I think my friend, I'm not going to say her name, but I think she was actually trying to get us together, like for me to, so when he was doing his solo stuff, that I would play guitar with him or whatever. And, it could have happened. Probably had that whole thing not, spiraled out of control. Maybe it could have happened. I could have, played on his solo records, which would have been amazing. But
no, that's incredible. I would have lost my marbles. I wouldn't have been able to contain myself. I probably told this story before, and you guys have probably heard it, but Talinda was kind enough to bring me to a Depeche Mode show that Martin invited her to, and we went backstage to go meet them. And for those of you who don't know Depeche Mode, Chester, Talinda, and I, one of our favorite acts of all time, and a subject of conversation, and a band we worship. So we're all kind of shitting our pants that Martin reached out to Talinda and wrote her a really sweet email, very nice, and invited her personally. And she called me. She's like, oh my God, she's like, check your email. And she kind of, was like so freaked out that he wrote such a kind, like just a sweet, friendly, such a nice email. And we all went. And I thought for a minute that we were going to dinner first. I actually think that we were going to go to dinner, but then it didn't work out. And I was having a panic attack. I was having a fucking panic attack because I couldn't sit at a dinner table with Martin Gore. I was not capable of doing that. I was going to lose my fucking marbles. And so I'm having a panic attack. And then she's like, okay, no, we're not going to dinner. We're just going to go meet him backstage and say hi. And I'm all, fuck, thank God. Oh my God, I can't eat food in front of this guy. I'm getting hot thinking about it. And that's just how big of an effect Martin Gore had on me, and has on me still to this day. And so we went backstage. We got to Depeche Mode down in the Honda Center in Anaheim, and one of our home venues. And we went backstage, and he came out, and it turns out we know his wife.
Oh,
like
yeah,
totally.
God, I totally forgot about
Totally know his wife.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, so. An old girlfriend of mine, her roommate,
married
Martin Gore.
So she comes out, and I'm sweating fucking bullets waiting for Martin Gore to come out and say hi to us backstage in the private area. Like, no one's around. There's no meet and greet. It's just us, Talinda, and me and his friend, and Martin Gore is going to come out and hang out. And I was just like, I'm going to die right now. I don't know what to do. So he comes out, and she comes out. She's all, Ryan? How you doing? I'm like, what the fuck? Thank God. I feel so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So we he was, as Amir said, he was incredible.
God, I totally forgot that he married her.
Yeah, and they seemed really happy, and she was sweet as hell, and I always thought she was really cool.
Yeah, she was.
And she was the better half for sure of your ex. And
Situation.
Martin was absolutely wonderful. And then Fletch came out and hung out for a little bit and talked to us, and I was like, well, okay, this is getting good. And Dave Gahan was doing vocal warm-ups in the other room right behind the door. Piano going, and he's singing full voice, the whole range of them. And I can tell you right now that I couldn't do his vocal warm-up. If you said go do his vocal warm-up right now, the answer would be I can give it a try, but I will fail about 5 minutes deep. He did it for the entire time that we talked, probably 20 minutes, and then went and did a 2-hour show. Like I can't. It's ridiculous. So I'm just thinking about it. I feel like this big, and I feel like I'm probably not the greatest musician and everything. And it was just it was definitely life changing, and they gave us incredible seats, and we watched just a fantastic show, and it was unreal, man. I mean, absolutely unreal. So, you know, Martin Gore and David Gahan and Depeche Mode are massive parts of our life, and obviously Depeche Mode. So we think of we're going to do a Depeche Mode song, right? We're not. So we're going to do a song off of Martin's solo album. This song's called Compulsion, and we actually haven't done it right yet. So we're gonna give it a try. I'm not gonna jump right into it yet, but I think that one of the interesting things about, you know, doing a Martin Gore study and talking about Martin Gore as a songwriter and everything. Obviously, he's the main songwriter in Depeche Mode, so he's the guy. He took over at the very early stages when what's his name left.
I know.
Oh God, what's his name? He went and did Erasure and all this other cool
And
stuff.
yeah.
Another beast.
It'll come to me in a minute.
But I think Martin's songwriting for me is just it's up here, and I think doing his solo album was really weird, and it's definitely just off in left field and everything. And this song, frankly, is really weird. We have the notes in front of us right now, and I had to go over the notes. I think I redid them 7 times because I kept getting it wrong, because the way the song is constructed is weird. You know, it's just an odd song.
Yeah.
That's what'll mess us up if we mess up. It's just that it's kind of weird, but we have it all down here. And it's just, you know, once you start to unravel what he's doing, it's brilliant. You know, the way that he put like a stop and then goes back into that pre-chorus kind of thing, it's what makes that thing have energy, you know. And it's like, it's just so cool. I don't know if any of you guys have heard this album. Is it called Counterfeit?
I think it's an EP, actually.
It's an EP.
I think it's called Counterfeit EP. I think it's the first
Vince
thing.
Clarke.
Vince Clarke, yeah. I think it's the first thing he put out. I think it's like his first solo thing.
Yeah, so super cool, super fun song. Sorry, I didn't bump that. I'm going to attempt to play the little simple keyboard part. It's even kind of weird, you know, but there's just a little weird walk in it that always kind of throws me. So I guess we'll go ahead and give it a try. I think this song's really beautiful. We've been listening to it all week and working on it all week, and somehow still can't play it perfectly, but we will do our best. We're just doing this through the iPhone today because we still haven't figured out the compression issue with the streaming if we do it through our system, our really nice, expensive, killer system. So let's give this a try. All right, hold on. I don't know how ready I am. Okay, cool. Now I'm scared. All right.
We're actually using this little Portasound that my cousin James gave us years ago, and it's just kind of fun, and it actually kind of sounds similar to the to the sound.
It's weird. Yeah, it's this kind of hokey little thing, but I think that we believe in having these little toys around all over the place all the time, because you never know when you can pull them up and start being creative with them. You know what I mean? So
this has been used on surprisingly a lot of things.
Yeah, it's
on our
pretty cool.
records, like just little things. Sometimes it just works.
all right,
Okay.
let's give it a try. limited supply, and refusing to stretch that indefinable nothing somehow keeps pushing you, finding the right words can be a problem. How many times must it be said? There's no plan, it had to happen. Got to move on sometimes, and it's about time. By putting one foot in front of another and repeating the process. Cross over the street, you're free to change your mind. Strength through diversity, couldn't have put it more plainly. Got to move on sometime. 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 Charms and limited supply, under threat of extinction, the indefinable nothing somehow motivates you, finding the right words can be a problem. How many times must it be said? There's no plan, it had to happen. Got to move on sometimes, and it's about time. By putting one foot in front of another and repeating the process. Cross over the street, you're free to change your mind. Strength through diversity, couldn't have put it more plainly. Got to move on sometimes. 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 It's about time. Sometimes. Got to move on sometimes. It's about time. Sometimes. Got to move on 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 sometimes. Move on sometimes. Got to move on sometimes. Yeah, we did it. We did it almost right. So wait a minute. So I'm reading some comments here.
Just keep going.
Is this a cover?
Maybe.
Oh, this would explain why it's so weird.
Did he? It's a. He
Is
didn't
it a
write it.
Joe Crow?
Oh, maybe it's like some old song.
Oh my gosh. And we didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's so cool. So Joe Crow. Joe Crow. Now I want to open it up. Let's see here. Compulsion. Oh, it's on Counterfeit, and Counterfeit is all covers. No, you're totally right. I don't know who wrote that though.
Huh. Interesting.
Wild. Yeah, because Counterfeit, that's like the concept behind it. Oh my God, that's so cool.
See,
Well,
we're still learning stuff.
I think that's so cool because, I mean, that's so awesome because then it really explains his take on like how this song works and how he, like, if you guys could see my notes, there's all these, I had to almost write his unique punctuation and everything in there because it was so hard to learn. And I'm surprised, I kind of did it pretty good. But I think this is even more interesting because it's one of our favorite songwriters' take on then another songwriter, which is even more enlightening. But that could explain the weird kind of super simplistic keyboard part and everything, which is just out of left field and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
You gotta hear the original now. If that's
Yeah, now we're gonna look at that. Yeah. So I'm glad that we do this with you guys because we didn't know. I knew that Counterfeit was mostly covers. I didn't know that the whole thing was covers. That's awesome. Yeah, learn more stuff all the time.
It's like Susie and the Banshees Through the Looking Glass.
Mm-hmm.
I love that record. That's all covers, and they did wow. I mean, the covers on that record are just they're so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool.
That would be something cool to cover.
Oh, through the or Susie, we can do Susie,
something, or even something off that album, like the way they did it, or something. Like that, like what we just did.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us on a Sunday. Sorry for the false alarms. Looks like we're up and running. We will be posting a couple things this week as we're in the studio working. You guys can always hear little clips of songs and stuff that we're kind of working on and everything. I always try to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the song. Super fun. And we will see you next Sunday. I guess next Sunday is Decode Radio, right?
I can't keep track.
Yeah. So second Saturday is always Decode Radio. So yeah, cool. I'll see you for that. That'll be awesome. I'll make something that's really difficult for you guys to choose. All right. See you.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys.